Hello everybody and welcome to CCCLXVI, the podcast where we talk about the last movies we watched last week.
That was the fastest, definitely the fastest.
Okay, so, a couple things. We're late. We have two excuses. Number one is there's been a bereavement in our family, and this went from really happy and jovial to very serious. Our aunt's father, not our mom's sister, because she doesn't have a sister, but my mom's brother's wife. So he's not technically our grandfather who died, but it's been a really sad sort of week for us because he died.
We went to his funeral today.
Yeah, we just went to his funeral. I'm actually still wearing my tie and stuff from going to the funeral, and it was very sad. So, number one, we're just going to dedicate this certain episode to Ron. This is for you, Ron. And also, we've had a bit of troubles with CCCLXVI on Soundcloud. Soundcloud is not the best platform for podcasts because they have a time limit on how many minutes you can upload to their platform, and that's not a smart thing considering how podcasts can be up to 3 hours in length. Most of them are not, but some of them can be. So that's sort of a bad thing. So we've actually moved our first two episodes to YouTube, and so there should be a YouTube link on our SoundCloud page and in the description of this podcast episode that you will be able to go there and listen to some of our older episodes if you want to re-listen or something. Also, we should be uploading some special clips, such as the bounty, for instance, or some other things along the way. We might upload those. But, so yeah, we have a YouTube channel now. Also, if you want to listen on YouTube, there's going to be about a 10-episode delay. Maybe more, maybe less. It really does depend. So, if you want to listen on YouTube, or if you prefer it on YouTube, and also there's a high-quality MS Paint drawing for every episode of the podcast on YouTube, so I'd recommend going and at least checking those out, because I spent a whole 5 seconds drawing those. So, anyways, that was some of our updates. Did I get everything, Benji? Did I forget anything?
I think you got everything.
Okay, onto the movies. So this week, because it was Easter, if you live under a rock,
it's a religious movie.
We watched religious movies. Except for one. We just got really bored, and so we just decided to not watch a religious movie. So, the last one was not a religious movie, but we did pretty good this week on following our goal. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to click my mouse.
Oh!
Did you hear those?
That's terrible. Why did you do this?
Whatever. You can deal with it. Okay, it's been 3 minutes, and we're wasting our minutes. So, let's go into number one, God's Not Dead. If you like God's Not Dead, turn this episode off right now, please, because we didn't. I'm gonna have to click my mouse again. I'm sorry. We did not like God's Not Dead.
Why are you clicking your mouse?
Steam is updating and stuff. That's why. So sorry about that.
Oh, Steam's in my background too, but it's okay.
Yeah. Can we talk about the movie now, please?
Yeah. Let's go on.
Okay. So, God's Not Dead. What? I'm sorry, I'm really distracted right now. I got this really cool wind thing for Easter. You can maybe hear it twirling. Can you hear that, Benji?
No, what is it? Which one?
It's the thing that you spin.
That I was playing with while we were watching the movie.
Yeah, while we were watching our second to last movie on this list. Okay, so let's just give our God's Not Dead is a 1 out of 10. It was awful. I hated it.
You hated it?
All the performances in that movie were awful. The only semi-good performance was from Kevin Sorbo, and that's only because he was the only actor there. The story was stupid. Everything was stupid. It's just a propaganda film filled with tons of racist messages, and I would not recommend watching this movie unless you want to make fun of it. 1 out of 10. Benji, what would you give it, and what is your opinion?
Totally a 10 out of 10. I'm kidding. A 1.5 out of 10. I mean, I just...
It's fun to make fun of.
I don't want to be mean. But... Yeah, and it's fun to make fun of, so let's give it...
It's fun to make fun of. That's the only reason why you would watch this movie. So, yeah, that's 1 out of 10. Would not recommend. We've spent too much time talking about this, and I really don't want to talk about this movie because it's so awful.
Awful.
So, yeah. The Passion of the Christ was the next movie we watched, and this movie was really good. I would not recommend you watch this movie if you do not like violent movies, though, because this is about the Passion of the Christ, as in the name, and it shows Jesus getting beaten pretty bad. I mean, I really do not... Violence in movies and stuff does not affect me at all. But this movie...
This one did.
This did. I mean,
yes.
I say not at all. I mean, this movie did. So, clearly it's not at all. But just the torture is just so awful, really. It's not the worst movie, probably, but it's just the fact that it's not like... They're not killing Jesus, they're just beating him.
I mean, they're making sure he doesn't die, so he feels all the pain. It's just like, no,
and then they crucify
stop.
him and stuff. I mean, if you're a Catholic and you've gone through the Stations of the Cross or whatever, you know what Jesus goes through, but you might not have stopped to think, unless you've seen this movie, how awful it must have been, because they, like, whipped him and stuff. With, like, it's just really bad. But I definitely recommend watching this at least once for Easter, so that way you get you really get to know what it was like for Jesus to, go through all this stuff.
Yes.
And if you're not religious, then I'm sorry. I don't know. This is probably not.
It's not your week.
It's not your week.
Oh, except for the
last one, and maybe our next one. But The Passion of the Christ it's a very religious movie as well. And unlike The God's Not Dead, I find it was actually a pretty good religious movie. I mean, God's Not Dead is bad because it's just basically a propaganda film. I mean, there's like that scene with the Muslim beating his daughter, which is just racist. I mean, he just beats her because she likes Jesus, apparently, even though Jesus, from what I've been told, anyways, anyways, it's basically a propaganda film. Passion of the Christ is also a bit of a propaganda film, but it definitely has its own merits to it, and it's also, like, I don't watch that many foreign films, so this might actually get me into foreign films, because it was made in America, but it's actually entirely in Aramaic, I think. I think there's a bit of Latin spoken by, like, the Roman people there, but I mean, it's entirely foreign, so it really makes you feel like you're there. It's a great film. Mel Gibson is a great director. We're gonna watch Braveheart next week, I'm pretty sure. And I love Braveheart, one of my favorite movies ever, directed by Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is really good. Fortunately, he has said a couple derogatory things towards Jews, but, I mean, that's not the worst thing somebody has done in Hollywood. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, saying some bad things about this, he was, okay. Let's stop talking about politics. So, I'd give this movie a 8 out of 10. Not a 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is what I'd give it. Not a 9 out of 10 because it's just really violent and that'll put a lot of people off this film. And also, it's just really gruesome and it's a bit boring. It's not boring, but it's just... I would not recommend most people to watch this. However, it's a beautiful film and I love it. So what would you give it out of 10, Benji?
I'd have to give it an 8.5. And that's because, I mean, I really liked it. It's just... Like, the reason I liked it is because it really made me think about, like, what Jesus went through. And, I mean, usually I'm like, oh, they nailed him to a cross. I'm like, they nailed him to a cross.
I mean, there's no nails going through his hands and stuff. I mean, yeah. If you're Catholic or something and you're not a child, I would definitely recommend you watch this movie.
Definitely, yeah.
Or if you are a child, which I don't think any children listen to our podcast. Do they? Maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But I'd maybe recommend watching it with your parents or something. But it's a pretty gruesome film. But it really makes you think. It really makes you think. And that's a good thing. It makes you think about your faith and everything and how much Jesus loves you. So, now into Life of Brian. This is maybe our film for people who aren't religious, because...
There's another film, the last one, but this one is like...
Yeah, this film has often been regarded as people as anti-religious. I honestly don't think that. I honestly don't think that it's a very anti-religious movie. I mean, I can't think of anything in this movie that is anti-religious, right? I mean, it is sort of poking fun a bit at, like, religion in general. I mean, they all start following Brian, even though he's not the Messiah. And he says so. I'm not the Messiah. This movie's really funny, though. It's great comedy.
Only the true Messiah says he is not the Messiah.
Only the true Messiah will deny his own...
Then I am the Messiah. You heard him. He's the Messiah.
He is the Messiah.
Oh.
And then there's like the whole making fun of like different branches of religion branching off because like we shall worship the God. He has left his shoe.
We must collect shoes.
We must raise our shoes above our heads.
Hang on.
And then all that, that's it's really funny. Monty Python is one of my favorite Just ever. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is one of my top 10 movies ever. I don't know, actually. Life of Brian might be better, but I haven't had enough time to think about this movie yet, because we actually watched it really recently.
Oh, shit.
I love this film.
Ethan?
What?
What were we going to say at the end of the podcast?
Did you just say a bad word?
What do you mean?
Did you say shoot?
Yeah, I said shoot.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna edit that out.
Yeah, just go ahead. Edit it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What did we
were
say?
Gonna say, always look on the bright side of life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, stupid. Yeah, okay. Got it.
Oh, we're talking about Life of Brian. I'm not gonna edit any of that out.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll see if you actually did say a bad word. And if you did, I'm gonna leave it in so that way you can get in trouble.
No. You're gonna edit it out if I say a bad word. Okay? You got that?
Okay. But this movie is really funny. Always Look on the Bright Side of Life is a great song. I actually really enjoy listening to that song.
Oh, that's where my $20 bill went.
I just want to know, like, what you're doing.
There's a $10 bill, too.
Sorry, I'm coughing.
I thought Mom
what do you
took it
do?
away.
I mean, I'm over here, like, reviewing the movies, and you're like, oh, I went to the toilet, wrote a couple scripts. That's in reference to Hello Internet. Anyways, Life of Brian is great. 10 out of 10. Great. Monty Python's hilarious.
Why the heck is a $20 bill bigger than the $10 bill?
The best scene in the movie was by far the scene with the biggest bad wordist, I can't say. But that was the funniest scene, right, Benji?
Uh-huh. I'm not kidding. The $20 bill is bigger than the $10 bill.
Okay, can we stop talking about sizes of money? And start talking about the biggestness of...
Maybe it's because the $10 bill all crinkled up.
Okay, let's just get on to the movies, okay? Okay, next film we watched was The Ten Commandments. And, oh god, is this film long? I mean...
It's like an hour...
Oh, what would you give Life of Brian out of 10?
A Life of Brian? 10? Yeah, sure, 10 out of 10.
Ten Commandments is it's a great film. It's a really beautiful film. It has some great cinematography. It has great directing. It has great special effects for its time. Maybe not for today. But the bad thing about this movie is it's so fudging long. I mean, oh my god, it's 4 hours long. So you get 2 hours into this movie, and that's longer than some movies, and you aren't even halfway there yet. So film was really... I fell asleep a couple times, to be completely honest. I fell asleep a couple times. But I'm still giving it a 10 out of 10 because it's a great movie. But it's just a little bit boring, to be honest. So would I recommend watching it? I'd recommend maybe watching it at Easter or something. I mean, it's a good film to have on if you're, like, at Easter, if you're hanging out with your family at Easter, which is what we did. We watched it with our grandfather.
We watched half of it.
Half of it with our grandfather. We got to the intermission to our grandfather, and then he ended up leaving and stuff and all that. A great grandfather. Anyways. So... it's a great film, but would I recommend watching it in one sitting? I don't know. I mean, if you got 4 hours, I mean, it wouldn't be the longest film I've seen. We once watched all the Lord of the Rings extended edition movies in one setting. Which, by the way, I would 100% recommend. We're going to do that for this podcast, and you guys are going to hear our thoughts immediately after we do it. Benji. Okay?
Got it.
So yeah, Ten Commandments is great. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I have to, because it's just a really beautiful film, a really great film, a really nice film. I really enjoyed that film. And yeah, I'm a bit tired right now, to be completely honest. So my brain is not working at full capacity. I'm also a little bit thirsty. So what would you give 10 Commandments out of 10?
I'd have to give hang on. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because it was 4 hours minus. I loved it, but it's 4 hours long, so I'm kidding. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
For every 2 hours is 1 point off.
Yeah, every 2 hours is 1 point off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really thirsty, so I'm going to go get a drink of water. Can you talk about See No Evil, Hear No Evil while I'm gone?
Okay.
You can talk directly to the audience like Gray does.
Okay, got it. Guys, I really don't know what to say right now. But I'll just say, this is a comedy movie. It's that movie we're talking about that, this is the last movie on our list, and, for this week. And, so, sorry. I don't usually talk directly to the podcast thing. Anyways, it's a funny movie, like Life of Brian, and it's pretty good. It's got lots of bad words. Are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back. I heard lots of bad words.
Yeah, you may want to edit out, like, half the silence in that because
I will.
Half of it's like I've never done this before,
Okay.
you know.
You have done this before, and you were just as bad at it. What was it with? I'm sorry,
It was,
you're gonna hear that.
It was Maverick.
Oh yeah, Maverick.
Okay.
What would Snapchat have to do to make you want to get one? Thank you, Thomas. Somebody's texting me and interviewing me about Snapchat, which is probably not the best thing because I don't have a Snapchat. So you should probably consider interviewing someone else.
And
not
somebody just sent me a message on Skype. So I said we're doing the podcast, and 20 minutes later they say okay in the middle of the podcast.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this on camera. I hope you guys don't mind. So, what would Snapchat have to do to make you want to get one?
Get one what? A Snapchat?
To get a Snapchat. Be better than just texting.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Oh, and then you put like I'm doing a podcast after this, so now you're gonna be live, okay?
Okay, so
Does she have like all those like half of the words letters instead of regular words, or is that what she said?
Yeah,
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So can we talk about the movie now? Or I think Benji's review was probably pretty good. I'm gonna trust him. Do you think your review of the movie was good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm giving this movie 10 out of 10. It's not that good of a movie.
10 out of 10
but it's
too. Yeah.
really hilarious. I really enjoyed it. Gene Wilder's like my favorite actor after Steve Buscemi. And Richard Pryor's also pretty good. It's really funny. I'd recommend you watch it. Don't go into it expecting a serious or well-made film, though. Go into it expecting to laugh.
And don't expect Jesus to be in it because he's not.
Oh yeah, our excuse for this. Our excuse for this one is the title of the film is based on a monkey proverb, and Proverbs was a book in the Bible.
Are you sure it's not a frog proverb? Because
no, it's a monkey.
My crayon box at school has frogs on it doing it. Are you sure? I remember they messed up.
On the texting, there's the 3 monkeys doing it.
Well, maybe they got it wrong.
See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
It's not see no monkey evil. Hear no monkey evil.
Oh my god.
Speak no monkey evil.
So anyways, always look on the bright side of life. This has been CCCLXVI.
Yeah, always look on the bright side of life.
This episode hasn't been too good, but I'm pretty tired, and I'm going to go to sleep after this. So, goodbye.
You're going to sleep after this? Oh.
No.
Goodbye.
Not really.
Wait, should
goodbye.
Bye.
Should we end it? Always look on the bright side of life.